Welcome back, Patriots. On this episode, I'm going to be talking about world politics. What's happening politically and what has happened politically over hundreds and even thousands of years that has got us to where we are today. I'm talking about how some very evil people have been trying to conquer the world and put into place a new world order, and get into all that and how close they are to conquering the world on this episode. My name is Peter Hanna, and this is Peter's Sky High Politics. Please click on the subscription button on the bottom right corner of the screen so you guys can stay up to date on what's really going on, and I can give you information from a higher perspective so that no matter what's happening on the ground level and the matrix, as I call it, you'll know we're doing okay, we're winning, it's all going to be amazing. Now,
the amount of times Peter has said we're winning per video has gone up, correlatively with the longer it's been since anything positive has happened for Donald Trump or him. So the longer we get away from Trump losing the election and nothing happening, Peter says we're winning more and more. He's trying to basically deflect and cope. It's hopium. Proportionally. Probably a better word. Thank you.
Now, in the last episode, I talked about the 10,000 foot view. And to be more specific, I have categorized different topics from what I believe is the foot view, I guess you could say, from which I would place them. For example, U.S. politics is the 10,000 foot view, which I explained in the last episode. This episode is going to be the 20,000 foot view, which is world politics. What's next after that? The 30,000 foot view, which is going to be exopolitics.
Which is aliens, if you don't know. Peter believes in aliens and that they are affecting world politics.
At the 40,000 foot view, you have the Q operation strategy. At the 50,000...
Q is above the aliens, apparently. The aliens are interfering with politics, but Q knows more than the aliens. He's higher on the hierarchy.
Foot view, you have the Great Awakening, and at the 60,000 foot view, you have...
The Great Awakening is like when you hear QAnon people talk about some sort of spiritual, metaphysical awakening. I'm not super clear on it, but usually that's the hippy-dippy, weirdo QAnon people.
Have the Grand Experiment, which is extremely exciting.
I don't know anything about that one.
And every episode, I'm going to go 10,000 feet higher so I can show you an even broader perspective. And the whole point of doing this is because I think Trump has it in the bag at this point, and we don't really have to worry so much about what's going to happen politically. Trump's still on plan A. Things are still going well. He'll be coming back. So now that that's kind of clear, as I've pointed out in my previous episodes, I'm going to be focusing on Peter's Sky High Politics, which is going to give you guys information that's going to warm you up to what's going to happen when Trump comes back. I'm talking about alien disclosure, defeating the cabal, ending their, shot at creating a new world order. So let me dive right into it. And this is a very general, simplified explanation of what's going on. I'm not an expert on it, but I'm not an expert on really any of these foot views, but
You're not an expert on anything, Peter. The thing you do the most is smoke weed or CBD, and even that you don't know how to do right. You made it with isopropyl alcohol, probably poisoning you and your pregnant wife, allegedly, in my opinion.
I do have enough information to give you an accurate description of what's going on at these different levels. So, the 20,000 foot view. Real world politics. So what's happening and what has happened politically over thousands of years? Well, you have people who become very powerful and then they want to conquer the world, We see it all throughout U.S. history.
So they've been working for thousands of years and they still haven't conquered the world? They kind of suck, don't they?
These people get rich, powerful, they try to conquer everything, right? But no one's ever been very successful.
Oh. Well, that doesn't make Q or Trump seem very impressive then, because they weren't around for thousands of years, but they still didn't succeed, so it seems like they're not much of a threat.
But these people have started grouping together into different organizations, call them the Cabal, the Illuminati, which appears to be the most powerful, which we're destroying right now.
I want to know why Peter can quantitatively assess and say the Illuminati are the most powerful secret organization because they don't exist, so there's no evidence to even look at to quantify that. It's a boogeyman, they're not real. So why does he think they're the most powerful? Would he be like, well, I can't find any information about them, so that must mean they're the most powerful? I gotta play this clip. This is the most important lesson Peter taught us.
I don't know what you call it. My poop comes out of my butthole or in there.
I want that to be my new text notification. So I'm just in public, and it's gonna ding, and it's gonna go, my poop comes out of my butthole.
What you call it. My poop comes out of my butthole or in there. And their version of conquering the world is creating a new world order where there are only about 500 million humans that are slaves and controlled and microchipped, and they create everything that the Cabal wants. And
why do you need 500 million humans if there's alien technology and time travel and quantum computers, which you've mentioned earlier? Why do you even need humans? Build a robot. Build a robot army. They're aliens. They can't build robots. They can come to Earth from across the galaxy, but they can't build a robot? Even humans are pretty close to building robots for service situations, like those dog robots from Boston Dynamics. Like, they're not super intelligent or anything. They're just robots. You program them, but they do physical labor.
Basically, the Cabal rules the world. That is their master plan. And they got very close to achieving that. Now, for many, many years, thousands of years, they did kind of control a lot of Earth, but he never really conquered Earth. And part of that
Why?
reason is the creation of the United States, which has been a stronghold defending the whole world from this evil Cabal.
So Peter has to come up with a fantasy of the world where the United States is in the center, and the world would have been destroyed if it weren't for America. The thing is, he said they've been trying to take control of the world for thousands of years. America's only a little over 200 years old. It's like 250 years old. Why didn't they take over the world before that? America isn't that old, Peter, and it certainly wasn't a global superpower until, like, the 20th century. The mid-20th century. So what?
So ever since the United States has been created,
like, in his head, was the Cabal gonna come take over America, but George Washington was there with a fucking axe, and him and the rest of the founding fathers were gonna, like, literally fuck him up with physical combat? Like, how does he think that this works?
the United States has been the most attacked country in the world. And I'm not talking about just with wars. I'm talking about chemically.
Let's not go into all the countries the United States has interfered in or invaded or done coups in with the CIA or leaders assassinated. The U.S. is the most attacked nation ever, okay? Can I back that up? No, but I feel it, and my feelings are more important than facts, so...
You know, through bioengineered weapons, politically, financially, they're attacking the United States in every single way because the Cabal, the Illuminati, the people who are in power, who are puppeteering the banking system, they want
Dog whistle!
to take down the United States. If we take down the United States, as Trump said, the world goes down. The United States is the policeman of the world. So the original plan was for Hillary Clinton to win, and I know this is going to be very, very shocking, but the original plan was for Hillary Clinton to win, and then there was going to be, disease everywhere, and then there had to be vaccines that would come out, but they would come out much later. So Hillary Clinton was going to be president.
Peter, no one knew about COVID until 2019. That's why it's called COVID-19, because that's when they discovered it and isolated it as a novel coronavirus. That's what the 19 stands for. No one knew about it in 2016, Peter.
It was going to take many years for a vaccine, and then during that time, middle class would be destroyed, and then vaccine would get FDA approval.
Peter, the middle class has been destroyed over decades since Ronald Reagan because of trickle-down economics. The virus didn't do it. Hydrate.
And
if anything, the virus just exposed how vulnerable people in the fledgling middle class are at this point. They're barely middle class. They can't go without 2 or 3 paychecks without defaulting on their mortgage. Like, that's not a middle class. That's a working class.
Then it would become mandatory for everyone on Earth to get these vaccines. Now, that's kind of where I'm kind of going to stop using the vaccine word, and basically the cabal was going to use this different strategy here to depopulate the Earth by over 7 billion people. You heard me right. They were, under Hillary Clinton, they were going to use different devices, the V, to depopulate the Earth by 7 billion people. And then obviously there's some people who don't want to take vaccines, so what do? Their plan was going to use mobs, BLM, Antifa to target even people like me, conservatives who are...
How many buzzwords can we fill this video with? They were going to target us with BLM and Antifa because vaccinations. What? That doesn't even mean anything. What do you mean?
Who are outspoken, who speak out, and they were going to send these people to do hit jobs, to kill people like me, to kill all these conservatives that...
Peter, you live on a compound in a gun cult. How do you think these people are going to get onto the compound?
That wouldn't take the vaccine, that wasn't standing for the corruption, that were speaking truth. They were going to take out all these people to make sure that anyone who criticized Hillary or did anything bad would be executed. And
the irony is that this is literally Peter's plan, just in the reverse. Peter, me and people like me don't want to hurt you. We do not want to hurt you. I wish you would get vaccinated. In fact, that's the opposite of wanting to hurt you. I want you and your family to be safe. Please get vaccinated. But I don't want to hurt you, and I certainly wouldn't do anything when you're not getting vaccinated. I also don't want to be near you, but, like, I'm not going to come near you. It's ironic that instead what you want to do is execute all the people you disagree with. And he goes on later in this video to be like, no, I'm not violent. I just want all these evil people to be executed, when Peter doesn't realize that this is all post hoc justification for the fact that there are people he politically disagrees with. So he, with the help of online people who were also into the Q community, instead of just recognizing that there are people that they disagree with politically, they find it easier to call them all evil Satanists, and that gives them the justification to extrajudicially murder them, even though they don't deserve it and their accusations are false. It's really gross.
By these hit jobs, by these thugs, these gangsters going through our country. So they were basically going to kill billions of people. That was the original plan, and this plan would have been completed by sometime like 2028. So we would have, if everything went according to the cabal's plan, by like 2028, there would be no more billions of people. It would be under 1 billion people. It would be a slave society. It would be microchipped. It would be dumbed down, controlled, and boom.
I don't even know what a dumbed down Peter would look like. Could he even breathe on his own?
They have the New World Order. They were this close. They only really needed 4 more years, just one 4-year Hillary presidency to put in the New World Order. They were this close to accomplishing. I mean, they've been attacking us not just financially, and also attacking our values, our Christianity, our belief in God, but also chemically you have...
Peter, the vast majority of the people in the United States are Christian. You're not being persecuted for being a Christian.
GMOs, you have the V word, you have chemicals and cleaning supplies, you have the air they were poisoning with chemtrails, you have the soil they
Chemtrails aren't real.
were poisoning. They were poisoning us in every way possible. Even pharmaceuticals, they're poison. Okay, let's just be real here. Do they have real effects?
The irony being that Peter has literally poisoned himself by making homemade CBD with isopropyl alcohol. Fun.
That can help and save people, yes, but the vast majority of them are designed to do more damage than actually heal people.
Oh, that's a great business model.
And even supplements. For example, magnesium stearate is a common ingredient put in pills and supplements, vitamins, and actually prevents your body from absorbing vitamins and minerals and all these supplements. So long story short, the supplement supply has been poisoned, the food supply has been poisoned.
I wouldn't recommend taking supplements like that anyway because they're not well regulated by the FDA.
The water supply, the air, the food, everything in the United States has been poisoned. And these are attacks on our country. They're trying to take us down spiritually, physically.
No wonder Peter deals with so much constant anxiety. He thinks he's being poisoned all day, every day. Jesus Christ. He needs to get help.
Mentally, in every way possible, because, especially financially, if they were able to take us down financially on their Hillary Clinton presidency, it would be game over, billions of people dead, and pretty much no chance of the good guys ever coming to save the day. So I see comments in my comment section where they're like, I think you're a nice person, Peter, but as soon as you talk about Trump executing people, I have no sympathy for you and your alien abductions. Well, let me tell you something. If there are people trying to kill 7 billion people, do you think maybe they might deserve the death penalty?
If they're not, Peter, you've conjured up an imaginary slight, an imaginary crime, so you can feel better about murdering innocent people. They are innocent. They are not a cabal. That doesn't exist. The Illuminati doesn't exist. You are targeting people that just happen to disagree with you politically. People like Hillary Clinton, whom, by the way, I don't like either, but I have political differences with her. The difference is, I haven't come up with a fantasy that makes it okay for me to murder her. You did. You and people like you have come up with an intricate bullshit lie in order for you to justify to yourself murdering countless numbers of your political enemies. That's not okay. It's not real. This is not real, Peter. This is a story you're telling yourself so you can feel better about killing other people. That's bad. Stop listening to these Q conspiracy theorists because they are feeding you lies and they are making you comfortable with the idea of hurting people just by telling lies about them. That's not okay.
If they were brought to a court and the court says, you're helping these cabal kill 7 billion people, I think you deserve the death penalty.
But courts haven't said that, Peter. Not a single court has said that. Donald Trump took 60-plus lawsuits to the courts, claiming that he lost the election unfairly or via fraud, and all the courts disagreed, including the courts that he appointed the judges to. So you are coming up with fake situations in which it would be deemed morally okay for you to kill your political opponents because you can't win legitimately. That's disgusting. That's what Nazis did. Literally. Please read a history book.
Now, I'm against the death penalty. Actually, I was against it originally.
I need to extrapolate on that thought because this really bothers me about QAnon people, and it's a reason I think people need to take them more seriously. The Nazis rose to power on conspiracy theories. We don't often frame it that way, but that's very much the case. The Nazis rose to power off of the idea that the Lügenpresse, the lying press, aka fake news, is hiding and abetting a cabal of people, you know which people, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get dinged by YouTube for anti-Semitism, but I'm just trying to explain what the Nazis believed. Of course, it's not true. This is a conspiracy theory. Believing that certain people, racial groups, religious groups in their society were a secret part of a cabal that was working to undermine the success and prosperity of Germany. This is almost to a T the QAnon conspiracy theory. They've added some stuff about like Satanism and adrenochrome or whatever, but a lot of that stuff mirrors other anti-Semitic conspiracy theories from the past as well. You're doing the same thing, Peter. You're espousing Nazi-level rhetoric in order to kill your political enemies. And here's the thing. I don't think Peter knows this. I don't think Peter is intentionally doing this, but he's one of the people who have fallen for the lie. He's one of the people who heard, Hitler stand on a podium in Berlin saying, we need to bring glory back to the Rhineland, back to Deutschland, and we need to destroy the subversive elements within our society that are hurting the true German people, air quotes. And Peter's the guy in the audience who's like, yes, I believe that guy. There must be subversive elements that are destroying the country secretly behind the scenes. What are we gonna do to stop them? Peter is a useful idiot who's being used by more powerful people and grifters to give people the idea that it's okay to kill political enemies, and they're giving them an excuse by implying that said political enemies are less than human because of certain crimes they are accusing them of that did not in fact happen. History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. This isn't funny. This shit's serious.
Trump's changed my mind, but I actually wrote a book called Cannabis Paradise where I talked about the United States splitting into two different countries, and it was the cabals doing that split it. And I also talked about how the cabal was going to release a biological weapon that would basically they were going to use biological weapons and V and stuff like that to depopulate the earth by billions of people. I wrote a book about this 10 years ago. So the reason I knew this was going to happen was because the cabal telegraphs their plans, and it's pretty obvious that if they nuke everything,
I know this is all true because I wrote a fiction book about it a decade ago. Clearly, if I write a fiction book about something, that means it's real. Duh.
don't get any
useful idiot. I'll repeat that again.
Resources. So they wanted to eventually attack us all biologically and through V's, through diseases, so that we can die and then they can take all our resources. And they were very, very close. They were very, very close. Trump stepped in.
Again, the fascist rhetoric of the enemy is incredibly weak. They're garbage. They've been around for thousands of years, but they haven't been able to take things over. But they keep getting close. They're so powerful that they could. They just never do. So we better defeat them once and for all. And all these people happen to be the people I disagree with politically.
And hallelujah, because it was hard for me to even believe in God until Trump arrived and started saving the day, because it looked like the cabal controlled everything. The whole world was doomed. It was the end of the world. And Trump came in and says, guys, I'm going to save the world for you. And thank God that Trump came along. So,
can you imagine how delusional and desperate you have to be in order to listen to Donald Trump speak for more than a minute and think he's anything but an egotistical moron? Absolutely bonkers.
So what has happened since? The cabal was this close to putting a new world order. They only needed 4 more years. So what happened since Trump became president? I'll tell you what happened. Trump destroyed almost all their plans. Like, their plan to kill billions of people, destroyed.
Yeah, he killed 500,000 people first. Take that, cabal.
I mean, mostly destroyed. There's still going to be hundreds of millions of deaths.
Even within his fantasy, hundreds of millions of people die unnecessarily. At least have a nice fantasy, Peter. Why?
Because of the damage that the cabal is trying to do to populate the earth. But it's not going to be billions. So when Trump talks about how he's saving so many lives and saving the world, he's not kidding. Trump is saving billions of people. And the people he wants to put through the court to get the death sentence, he's not doing it because he's a, horrible, crazy psycho killer like some of the Democrats that watch this think. He's doing it because they want to kill 7 billion people, over 7 million people.
None of that's true, Peter. You want your political enemies slaughtered because you can't win in a legitimate fashion. This is what fascists do. This is what the Nazis did. This is what the Soviet Union did. Stop it. Get some help.
He's trying to save the world. And I know Democrats are watching this. Hannah's trolls. They
Don't harass Peter. He's stupid, but he doesn't deserve to get harassed.
don't really believe me, but that's fine. Where the Great Awakening's happening. They'll wake up eventually. So Trump became president. He derailed a lot of their plans, especially the plan to kill billions of people. And everything is still going according to plan. But from a worldwide perspective, everything right now is hinging on what happens in the United States. So even though I'm talking about what's going on in the whole earth when it comes to politics, it all comes back to the United States. Because, like I said, United States falls, we're all doomed. So we are we're the most important country, especially because
Not only is Peter important in the sense that he's one of the top 1% of people that's figured out the truth, America is also the most important country in the world at all times, no matter what. Great.
because God is on our side. And Trump has been
Peter, America isn't even the most Christian country. Why would God be on America's side?
planning this takedown of the cabal with
It seems like well, what countries have, besides the Vatican, obviously, what countries are the most Christian? Mexico's probably going to be pretty high on the list. Per capita. Here we go. Well, Mexico and Central America are much more religious than the United States. So, honestly, God should probably be on Mexico's side if we're talking about, you know, the Americas, or maybe some of these South American countries. I don't know. But certainly not America. What?
a lot of people, intelligent people, for decades, you heard me right, at least like 30, 40, 50 years. So it's all going perfectly according to plan so far. He is going to save the world. He's derailed a lot of the plans. There will not be a new world order. There's still a little bit more fighting to do, but Trump recently said that he's writing a book about his life, and it's going to be the mother of all books. I'm sure it is. How Team Trump saved the world from a cabal that wanted to kill 7 billion people. That's going to be a heck of a
It's a bit of a wordy title.
book.
If Trump doesn't call his second book The Art of the Steal, he needs better people. Can I just point that out? He should call it The Art of the Steal. And I don't disagree, and I don't agree with Trump, and I don't think the election was stolen, but that's such a good title. He'd be so stupid if he doesn't use it, which means he's probably not going to use it. Call it The Art of the Steal. Someone recommend that.
That's going to turn into a heck of a movie. So where we're at now is the whole world is just waiting to see what happens in the United States. And when Trump comes back, he is going to use all the power of the United States has economically, through the military as well, to defeat the cabal and all their tentacles that are all around the world in different areas. So we're waiting for Trump's return, and it will be a glorious return. It will be amazing. It will be so exciting. And then he's going to serve a third term.
Very legal and very cool.
As a republic, because remember, the corporation has ended. So
again, he adopted basically sovereign citizen rhetoric. He'll adopt any conspiratorial belief that allows Donald Trump to become leader for life, basically. So he adopts sovereign citizen rhetoric about the United States secretly being a corporation. It isn't. But he'll adopt that conspiracy because it plays into this worldview where he gets to not only kill all political enemies through the courts legally, but he then lets Donald Trump become a dictator for life. Because let's be real, Donald Trump's old. If he got a second and then a third term, he would probably die in the middle of his second term, if I'm being honest. Just of old age, but
Trump can serve 2 terms for the republic at this point. And he's going to save the United States, and then the United States, with Trump, we're going to save the world and rid the world of most evil. I'm talking about the New World Order, the Cabal, the Illuminati, the people who have been...
Peter, what about people that just disagree with you politically? Like me. I'm pro-choice. I'm pro-universal health care that isn't marijuana, because you think all health care is marijuana. It's not. I want people to get free treatments for all the things they need to get done. I want them to get their insulin, etc., etc. I want rights for LGBT people all around the world. I want leftist values. Am I evil? Do I get killed in this case because I disagree with you politically? Because me and people like me, and there's a lot of them, aren't just going to go along with the Trump dictatorship. People like democracy, Peter. You don't get to undo it just because you don't like the state of the country.
And enslaving humanity for thousands of years. They've had a lot of power to destroy the world, and they've done a lot of damage to a lot of people. I mean, 800,000 American children disappear every year.
And the vast majority of them are found with one of their guardians or someone close to them. QAnon people will quote this 800,000 figure because it's outright shocking when you hear it initially and you go, 800,000 children go missing a year. Something like over 90% of those cases are a non-guardian parent kidnapping their own child. So let's say you get a divorce and you don't have custody of your kids and you're mad about that, you go and you take the kid. That's a great, that's like a majority of missing children's cases, is parents taking their own kids from the actual guardian. It can also be like an uncle or a sister or something like that. And those situations make up the majority. A small number might be family friends or a teacher or something. And then an infinitesimal amount, which are still tragic, but they're very, very small in their overall number, are just stranger kidnappings. Stereotypical stranger in a van comes and picks up a kid. That's very rare. That doesn't happen very often. Again, that's a tragedy when it happens, and it needs to be dealt with. But QAnon people make it sound like it's an epidemic, and it really, really isn't. The vast majority are parents taking their own kids.
Most of that is the Cabal Illuminati doing.
Oh, we're at 26% of the hype train, and he just lied and said most of that is the Cabal and the Illuminati. No, it's not. It's parents taking their children because they don't have custody, or they might have partial custody, but that's not enough for them, so they want to take their kids and move them somewhere.
Horrible things to American children. So they've done a ton of damage. They've done a ton of damage all over the world. And
hey, Peter, how do you feel about the church in Canada and one of their schools finding that huge graveyard, the unmarked graves of indigenous children? Do you also not like that one? I'm just curious.
Thank God we have Trump. He's coming in. So from a broader perspective, what's going on politically in the world? United States is being built up to be the savior country that's going to save the world from a cabal that wants to kill.
He has seen too many movies.
Billions of people. And we're kind of at the tipping point, most exciting part of the, I guess, stories, as you could say, or moment in history, where Trump's going to rise from the ashes and he's going to help save the world, and we're all going to help him do it. So it's very exciting because he
thinks it's going to be like a Tinkerbell moment where Donald Trump is about to be defeated by the deep state on live TV, and then it's going to be a situation where he and all the other true believers just have to clap and say, I believe in Donald Trump, and he'll rise in a battle mech and punch Hillary Clinton in the face or something. I don't know. 30% to the level 1 hype train.
Can support Trump and support our country as our country saves the world.
Oh, Peter, I have so much bad news about the history of the United States. Oh no. Okay, no. I'm just gonna go with no, because I don't have 4 hours to go through why America is not a hero. Sorry.
And I think I know a lot of Democrats don't believe me. For some reason, Democrats watch my show. They think I'm a troll or I'm making all this up, but
No, it's just really funny. I think most Republicans don't agree with you either. There's a startling amount. I think like a third to 45% of Republicans believe in some part of QAnon, but right now it's not the majority. So just the majority of people don't agree with you, Peter. They see that you're delusional.
the point is, even if Democrats don't believe me, there are people all around the world and every single country, except maybe not North Korea, or not many people in North Korea, who are currently just looking at the United States being like, so when's Trump coming back? When?
No. Peter, really? You think people in other countries were looking at Donald Trump and the majority were like, yeah, we love this? No, oh honey, no.
When's he gonna save the world? When's he gonna rid the corruption? Because the corruption of the Cabal Illuminati, they have, their evil tentacles in every country in the world, in almost every single banking system, and so...
Dog whistle.
This is something that's been said, but you can't destroy a 6,000-year-old satanic death cult overnight.
6,000 years? That predates the idea of the devil. Satan didn't exist as a character 6,000 years ago. What do you mean there were a satanic cult? Satan did not exist as a concept 6,000 years ago. Hype train, 80% to level 1 with 30 seconds, so you might miss it.
This is something that's going to take years and years and years. Like, realistically, I'm expecting that the world will be cleansed of this evil over the course of the next
91%.
6 to 12 years, I'm guessing. And
we did it.
It's
Level
not
1.
going to be easy, but the fruits of eliminating the biggest, I guess you could say, enemy on Earth, that's going to be absolutely incredible. We're going to become a utopian Earth. We're going to start opening up to a lot of exciting things, technologies that we've not been allowed to use, we'll be able to use. Everyone around the world who knows what's going on politically, all their eyes on is the United States, because they know if the United States crumbles, they're doomed. But if the United States rises from the ashes and we conquer and we win over the evil in our country,
the rest of the world loves when the United States conquers things.
Then it's going to be wonderful for...
Remember Vietnam? That was so fun. Yay.
...for every other country on Earth. So we are the police in the world. We are the savior country.
I don't even know why I went to Vietnam. I could have gone to Iraq or Afghanistan. That's the one everyone universally agrees is shitty. So even Republicans at this point are like, yeah, Vietnam, not a great. 80% to level 2.
And even though I don't understand all the little details about what's going on in all these different countries, what I do know is that they're dependent on us, America, United States. And Trump is playing a vital role in helping save the world from the evil cabal Illuminati. So thank you, Trump. Thank goodness he came just in time to help save the world, because if not, we'd be in deep trouble. I'm very, very happy about this. Feel very blessed. I am so excited that the plan is still going according to plan, that everything's going to be okay. And so that is basically the gist, simplified version of what's going on a worldwide level. Everything is being focused on the United States, and wherever the United States goes, the world goes. So all eyes are on the United States. It's a big deal what's happening in the United States. This is what happens in the United States is going to determine what happens for the next 1,000.
Someone says international polls show the ratio in people trusting Biden is the polar opposite of Trump, i.e. 85% to Biden, 15% for Trump. Yeah, I saw that poll too. Peter would say that poll is Lugenpressen, or as English-speaking people would say, fake news.
Years or more on Earth, will we become a hellish dystopia or a paradisical utopia? You know what I mean?
Paradisical? You literally use the word that's appropriate for that right after utopia. You don't have to make up a word. Paradisical?
So this is our moment in time in history to create a wonderful world Thank you, Trump. Now, on my next episode, if you've gotten this far, I'm going to give you the 30,000 foot view, which is very exciting. That's where my passion really starts to shine through, and that is exopolitics.
AKA aliens.
Real exopolitics. Exopolitics is the political interaction of aliens with our politics and how they've been influencing the planet for thousands of years. So, very exciting topic. Look forward to sharing that with you. But take into account, as I enter that episode where I talk about aliens, stuff like that, viewer discretion is advised. It is very startling and it's scary. And
is this going to include hardcore alien penetration? Because I'm on board.
It's going to be tough to swallow what is going on, and you're not even going to believe what is going on, but that's the reality of it. I'm getting my information directly from Majestic 12 at this point, so.
AKA a Telegram account that says they're Majestic 12, a fictional organization that doesn't and has never existed.
That's how I know it's real. All right, everyone, be excited for the next episode where I take you even to a higher perspective. And the reason that I'm doing this system is I believe that the higher perspective that you have, that I'm able to show you, the more accurately you can understand from a broader perspective with more information collected what exactly is going on. That's what this show is really trying to answer, the question, what is going on? So hopefully I can tell you guys what I believe is going on, and there's a good chance that vast majority of all the information I'm going to be showing you guys is accurate, because I'm getting it from Trump, Majestic 12, and accurate sources like that. All right, I hope you guys enjoy this. Thank you so much for watching. And I really appreciate the people who have been donating and supporting. And I appreciate the people who have been going and checking out that CBD company that I recommend in the description below. They have excellent CBD products, and they are highly recommended. I've tried their products, the coffee and the CBD oil, and it's really amazing. So if you're looking for good CBD products, definitely check out that company, mydailychoice.com.
They're overpriced. Please don't.
It's in the description below.
Okay, that's Peter. So Peter's doing badly. Surprise. I hope he's okay. Again, I think Peter's, like I said, kind of a useful idiot for these kind of right-wing fasci people who are trying to convince people like that it's okay to kill their political enemies by framing it as if their political enemies are these evil child kidnapping Satanists, which isn't the case. But either way, he hasn't emailed me in like a week since I emailed him, so I am a little worried. Maybe he just hates me now, which is okay. I don't mind. I just want to make sure he's doing all right. So, that's Peter. Let me do some bit messages while we finish off this hype train with 2 minutes left, and then I'm probably going to call it a night because I was going to go hang out with Jake, and Randy is supposed to get here tonight for, because we're doing a Charisma Saves finale on Wednesday, so good stuff. Let's check out these bit messages.